coming into a comfortable seated position and starting to find your breath. Not worrying about the style of breath that you're using this morning, it doesn't really matter. Just simply noticing how you're breathing. Starting to ground down through the body. Coming back into the physical form. If you'd like to sit up on a blanket or something, you can. Maybe just take a moment and rock a little from side to side. Rock a little bit forward and back. Maybe just starting to move the pelvis even a little bit. So a little anterior tilt, top of the pelvis comes forward. Posterior tilt, top of the pelvis comes back. So just kind of moving maybe in circles. And then seeing if you can find your center, the place where the weight is evenly distributed from one sits bone to the other. You're not leaning forward and that you're not leaning back. And then once you feel that in the sits bones, building up from that foundation. So we'll let the top of the pelvis come forward a little bit, creating a little natural curve in the low back. And then take the shoulders and allow them to press back in space. The tendency to sit forward a little. See if you can let the shoulders press back in space until they stack over the back of the pelvis. So back of the shoulders line up with the back of the pelvis. And just kind of feeling that, not worrying about specifically what that is like on the outside, what it feels like on the inside. And then can you take the center of the back of the head and press that back as well? And just pressing that back until you start to recognize that there are muscles on the back of the neck. So you might start to feel a little pull on the front. You might start to feel a little activation of muscles on the back. The idea here is if you were sitting up against the wall, the back, middle of the head, the shoulder girdle, and the back of the pelvis would line up along the wall. And then you draw your shoulders up by your ears. Let them press straight back in space. So the front of the chest opens just a little bit and the shoulder blades start to squeeze together. So just turning the muscles on the back between the shoulder blades together, the rhomboids. And then you can let the shoulders draw down in space. You don't have to force them down, but allow them to draw down. Bring your hands to your lap. As they say in yoga, the palms can be facing down if you're feeling like you need a little bit more grounding. Or the palms can be facing up if you're feeling like you need to receive something from something outside of yourself. And then as we breathe here, can you pay attention to the tip of the nose? Can you notice the breath as it comes in through the nose and as it exits through the nose? Maybe you notice that the breath is cool on the way in and it's warmed on the way out. Let's just take a few rounds of breath here, simply focusing on the tip of the nose. On the next inhale, can you expand the breath a little bit more, deepening the inhale just a little bit, filling up the belly maybe. And then as you exhale, emptying all the way out. And when you think you've emptied all of your breath, can you draw the belly in and squeeze out that last bit of air? Inhale, filling the abdomen all the way, allowing the rib cage to expand. And exhale, emptying out all the way, getting any of the stale air out, and just giving yourself a nice little squeeze. Few more rounds of breath here. Inhale, expand. And exhale, emptying all the way out. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Just returning to your natural rhythm of your breath. Not worrying about the breath as you move through the practice, just using the breath to tap into the energetic layer of the body. Our physical form, the physical things we're doing. And our breath helps us to feel grounded and to feel light. So when you're ready to, you can bring the fingertips down by your side. Press the fingertips down into the earth, lift the chest a little bit more. And then reach the right arm straight to the sky. So as the right arm reaches straight to the sky, imagine that someone is grabbing onto your wrists and lengthening your right side body. As your right side body gets longer, press down into the left fingertips, those would be the ones on the ground, and lift a little bit more. When you feel like kind of length of palms, you'll start to notice you start to come over towards the left just a little bit. So the idea here is length, not getting the right hand down as far as you can. Keep pressing down into the left hand, getting longer through the right. Take a full breath in here, breathing into the right side of the rib cage. And exhale all the way up. Pressing back into the left hand a little bit more, coming back up through center so right arm stays up. And the right hand will come across to the left knee. Grab onto the left knee, press the left hand down behind you, and lift through the spine. So think about spinning here through the rib cage, not trying to get into the low back, not trying to necessarily get into the neck, just allowing the neck to follow the rest of the spine. And the next inhale, returning back to center. Let the right hand come down, left arm comes straight to the sky. So think straight up before you think over. Lengthen here like somebody's pulling on your wrist, making you nice and long. And then maybe the right fingertips crawl to the right just a little as you press down into the right hand and lengthen through the left side. Breathing again into the left side of the rib cage. Seeing if you can get the breath here to expand the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles. You create a little bit more space for you this morning. On the next inhale, press down to that right hand, allow it to draw you back up through center. Left hand comes across to the right knee, right hand comes back behind. Press down as much as you can to start to find length and spin through the rib cage. It doesn't matter how far you spin. That's not the goal here. The goal is just to start to warm up the spine. Slowly releasing back through center. We'll come forward to all fours, hands and knees. So finding your way onto your hands and knees, and think kind of roughly, shoulders come over the wrists, hips come over the knees. Less important than what you're doing with your hands. So can you grip down to the pads of the finger and press down into the knuckle right here, the base of the fingertips. Can you squeeze the ground a little bit, start to turn on the forearms, then inhale, the belly drop down, the tail lift, and the heart come forward. And then can you press into the hands and round, draw the navel in, bring the gaze towards the knees or the belly button. Inhale, arch, lift the tail, lift the heart, keep grouping through the hands. And exhale, round. Move through a few rounds of breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale here. And then exhale, round, then hips to heels, child's pose. Let's find a few breaths here in child's pose. On the next inhale, come back to all fours, hands and knees. Let's curl the toes under here. Maybe the feet are about mat width distance. Lift the tail to the sky, so find that little arch once again. Press down into the hands. Press a lot so the upper back fills up. Use your strength here, and then press up and back to down dog. So pedal out your dog here, bend one knee and then the other. You might notice in down dog what part of your back body chain is tight. For me, it's always my calves. On the next inhale, let's roll forward to plank pose. Press down into the hands, fill up through the upper back. And then hips to heels. So knees come down, hips come back to the heels for child's pose. We'll do a few rounds here. Inhale as we come up to all fours. Exhale, up and back, down dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. Exhale, knees down, child's pose. Take a full round of breath here. Inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, find your way forward to all fours. Curl the toes, up and back, down dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank. Knees down, child's pose. Come one more time. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, down dog. Take a pause here. Inhale as you look forward, and then exhale, walk the feet up to the hands, wherever that might be on your mat. Bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance. Let the knees soften. Let the rib cage fall towards the thighs and let the head release towards the earth. So you might keep hands down. You might have some sort of a prop at home block. I like to use step stools when I'm home. Take a few rounds of breath here and just starting to breathe into the back of the rib cage. Can you notice when you breathe and when gravity's helping you, can you create a little bit more space? On the next inhale, let the hands come to the shins and lengthen out to a flat back. Look forward, bend the knees a lot, and lift the tail. So go back to that cow pose. Do a little arch in the low back, turning on the low back muscles. Bring the gaze forward, draw the belly in. Maybe you can squeeze the shoulder blades together and then take a fold forward. Press down into the feet. Keep the knees bent. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. From this place, press down a lot and rise all the way to stand. So come to stand at whatever you're using for a mat, the top of your mat-ish. We'll bring our feet to about hip width distance here, which if you were to measure would be about 8 knuckles between the big toe mounds. And can you do the same thing we did at the start when we were seated? Can you rock forward a little bit? Find what happens when the weight goes into your toes. Can you shift back a little and feel what happens when it's in your heels? What about when it's to the right or to the left? Can you find the center? Find that place where you can find yourself rooted into the earth. Draw the shoulders up by the ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades so the chest opens, hands come down by your side. Take a full round of breath here. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, lengthen out, flat back. Bend the knees a lot and step the left foot back. Left knee comes down here. And bring the left hand off the side of the mat. So I'm going to turn my hand so my middle finger is at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock. Press down into that left hand. Draw the right arm forward. And then start to spin. Let the shoulders step over the wrist and open up so you're coming to the side just a little bit. Your stance is a little wider than normal. And starting to feel a little bit more spin through the rib cage. And while you're here, can you press down firmly into your left arm so you don't just collapse here? Coming back to center, we'll plant both hands down and step back to down dog. Reach the left leg back behind here as you inhale. Hug the knee and step the left foot forward. Right knee comes down. Press straight down into that front heel to rise up. So as you press down into the front heel, take the back knee in isometrically. So that means engage without moving. Squeeze the knee and the foot towards each other. And then reach the arms to the sky. Start to create some space across the abdomen. Breathing there, if you will. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, let the hips shift back. Let the toes pop to the sky and hands come down. So in this place, we're going to flow through, but in this place, when you're here, press down into the heel and imagine that you're trying to pull the foot back. So engaging the back of the leg each time you're here. So we'll inhale, come forward, press down into the heel, sweep the arms to the sky, hug the legs together. And then fold forward, hands come down, hips slide back, pull, press down and pull back. Turn that back of the leg on. One more, come forward, press down into the heel, pull the back knee and foot towards each other, and then fold here. Pull back, turn the muscles on. Inhale as you come back forward, hands come down, look forward, so we lift the back knee and step it forward. Take a few breaths here, maybe wiggle out, shift from side to side. Maybe grab elbow to elbow. Release the hands down towards the earth and inhale as you lengthen to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Press down into the feet and rise all the way to stand. Sweep the arms to the sky. Hands to the heart. Inhale, reach to the sky, grow taller. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step the right foot back. So right knee comes down. Right hand comes off the side of the mat, so your stance is much wider than normal. Draw the left arm forward, and then start to spin so the belly button comes towards the inner thigh, but you're also starting to let the chest come towards the top edge of the mat a little bit. So a little bit side bend, a little bit back bend, a little bit twist here. Inhale as we come back through center. Plant the hands down, lift the back knee. We'll step it back. This time we're going to come plank. Knees down, child's pose. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, down dog. Reach the right leg back here as you inhale. Hug the knee in and slip the right foot to the right thumb. Left knee comes down. Press down into that front heel as you rise up to a low lunge. And as you press down, hug the back knee in isometrically. So turn on the hip flexors on that back leg. Reach the arms to the sky. And then press into the front heel as you slide back. Pop the toes. Press straight down into the heel and pull it back to turn on the back of that leg. Inhale forward, press down, reach and rise up, hug the back knee in, and then take a fold. Press the heel down, pull back. Inhale forward and up, squeeze the back knee in, And then take a fold. As you exhale, press down, pull back. Inhale as we come forward. Hands come down, lift the back knee, and exhale, step it forward. Inhale, lengthen out, flat back, and fold. Press down into the feet and rise all the way to stance with the arms. Hands to the heart. Just take a few breaths here, tuning back into your body, noticing how it feels right now. You'll notice as we move through practice, I do a lot of engaging of the muscles as we go. That's because muscles don't like to be stretched. So in order to find mobility, we have to engage. We'll take one more breath here. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale as we fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to a down dog. Take a pause here, take a full breath in, and a breath out. Reach the right leg back as you inhale. Hug the knee in and step the right foot through. This time stay up on the feet, press down through the heel. You can climb your way up so hands come to that front thigh. And then the same thing we did in low lunge, press down and hug together. As you hug together, see if you can get a little bit lighter. Press down through the front heel, grow taller through the spine. And then start to pitch forward, so get long here. Keep the pressure in that back leg, keep the back leg strong. With the left hand come down to the mat or to a block. Take the right arm, sweep it down by the hip, and then circle it around and open. Circle it down by the hip, arm sweeps down and around. Inhale as you open, exhale down and around by the hip. Inhale as you open, take a pause here. Press down into the feet a little bit more. Hug them towards each other a little bit more. And then let that right hand come to the inside, maybe onto the block or maybe onto the ground, depending on what you're using. We'll bend the back knee, let the heel drop down, and rise up to the center, so long, towards the long edge of the mat. Heels turn in, toes turn out. So we'll bend the knees, come to sit in a goddess. So think a little anterior tilt, and then drawing in through the belly. Reach the arms to the sky as you inhale, exhale. Bend the elbows and squeeze the elbows back towards each other. Press down into the heels. Turn on the underside of the legs. Inhale, reach to the sky, straighten. Exhale as you fold forward. So once you're here, let the knees soften a little, turn the toes in, kick the heels out, so it's a little better for balance. The hips lift once again. And take a fold. And then be giving yourself a hug here, so wrapping the left arm comes over the right, grabbing shoulder to shoulder. Seeing if you can breathe into the back of the body, into the sides of the ribs. Releasing the hands down. Walk back towards the front foot, that would be the right one. Plant the hands down and step it back to down dog. Take a pause here. And inhale, reach the left leg back behind. Hug the knee in, step the left foot through. Press down here and rise up to a high lunge. So press down into the front heel until you feel the underside of that front buttocks turn on. And then hug the feet towards each other. Get a little lighter in the pose and press down through the heel once again. Reach the arms to the sky. Stay long here, pitch forward, and let the right hand come down to the mat or to whatever you're using as a block. Take the left hand, sweep it down by the hip, roll it around. Inhale as you circle it open. Exhale, sweep down and around. Inhale, it comes forward and open. Think about getting long through the side body. So sweep the arm down as you exhale. As it comes forward, lengthen forward, and then wrap open and pause here. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat, so top hand comes down. This time we're going to step straight back to down dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Knees down, child's pose. Inhale, come forward to all fours. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, look forward. And then step or walk the feet to the front of the mat. Bring the feet again to about hip width distance if you're measuring 8 knuckles between the big toe mounds. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, fold. Let's do 2 more just like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Press down into the feet, press straight down into the heels. Lengthen and look forward. And then come all the way to stand. So keep the feet where they are, hip width distance. This is where things get a little fun. Press straight down into the heels. And then imagine that you're trying to pull the heels apart and make a hole in the yoga mat underneath you. So pull the back of the legs, the back of the hamstrings move apart, the back of the legs move apart as you press down and pull away. Then bend your knees. Find a little anterior tilt, a little cow pose like we did. Top of the pelvis comes forward, send the butt back. Channel your inner J-Lo. And then imagine, if you will, that you're trying to squeeze in and get your waist as small as you can get it. And allow that to be what grows you taller, makes you longer. So hug in, hug in, hug in, and then move the ribs away from the top of the pelvis. Keep pulling the heels apart. Inhale, grow a little taller here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, step the left foot back. So left foot comes back, let the heel come down. Press down into the front heel and rise up here to a warrior 2 position. So you can adjust your feet around if you need to. Again, pressing straight down into the front heel, pulling the legs towards each other. Reach the arms out. And can you imagine here, you can do it with your hands on your hips, but can you imagine lifting your rib cage, getting it to float away from the pelvis? On all 4 sides, so not just the front. Can you lift all 4 sides away from the pelvis? And then find the strength in your legs and take 1 more breath here. Press down through that front heel, find a little length in that front leg, so not hyperextended, but long. Reach the right hand out like you're trying to shake a hand. And the right hand comes down. Take the belly button and spin it towards the long edge of the mat. Left arm comes to the sky. Let the top arm circle down and around. Hands come down, look forward, and step it forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Press down into the heels. Come back to that chair position. So heels press down and pull apart. And a little anterior tilt, roll long through the spine. Rib cage away from the pelvis. Inhale here. And take a fold as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Step the right foot back. Drop the heel. You're gonna rise up here to warrior two. So press down through that front heel and allow that to be what lifts you. And then pull your legs towards each other. Reach the arms out. And instead of just kind of being like frumped here, can you use the pressing down to also create a lift? So back of the ribs lift, side of the ribs lift, front of the ribs lift. And then press down into that front heel, get longer through the front leg, reach out like you're shaking hands. We'll be able to do that again eventually. Let the left hand come to the inside. Spin the ribs and the belly button towards the long edge of the mat. Right arm comes to the sky. Take the top arm, circle it down and around, plant the hands, step back, down dog. Flow through to plank, knees down, child's pose. Let's take a few rounds of breath here and just notice, where is your body at right now? What does your body need right now? On the next inhale, press down into the hands, come forward to all fours, curl the toes and up and back to down dog. So we're gonna come back to the front of the mat. If you'd like to step or walk, you can. If you're like a little hop forward, you can do that as well. Once you're there, inhale, lengthen to a flat back. And exhale as you fold. Root down into the feet and rise all the way to stand. Sweep the arms up. Hands come to the heart. Challenging our balance a little bit here. We'll press down into the heels, pull apart, find that chair pose once again. So anterior tilt, ribs lift away from the pelvis. Pull the heels apart. Shift the weight into that right foot and draw the left knee up. And then slowly with control, step that left foot back. Let the left hand come down to the mat here. Or maybe you're wanting to come into a closed prayer twist where you bring the elbow across and come palm to palm. It's totally up to you. Just listening to your body. Think about getting long through the left side. So that would be the underside. Imagine somebody's hooked your armpit, the top of your arm, and is pulling you forward as you start to twist. Can you maintain that length? If the hand's down, maybe that means it has to come forward. Let the top hem sweep down and around, so the left side feels really long here. Let's shift the weight forward and see if you can find a little variation on a warrior three. So maybe that means hands to a prop, a block, a couch, treadmill, whatever's around you. And then we'll let the back foot come down in a shortened stance. So all 10 toes are gonna stay forward, coming into a pyramid pose. So maybe hands on a block or a prop once again. But think about hugging that right outer hip back. And as you hug the hip back, as you take this hip and pull it back, rotate it back, can you also press down into that front heel in the same thing we did in this pose earlier, when we pressed down and thought about pulling back? Can you do that same thing here? Get long through the left side. Grow a little longer, a little longer. Maybe it's a good time to bring a block underneath that left hand. And as the torso gets long, the rib cage moves away from the pelvis on that left side, maybe you start to let the belly spin towards that right leg. Maybe the top arm will come to the sky. And then the top arm come down and through. Just take a moment here in a fold. And then once you're ready to do so, you can soften the back knee. We'll look forward, and then we'll step it forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press down into the heels, rise up. Sweep the arms up, and then come sit into your chair pose. So press down into the heels, pull them apart, pull in, get long. And then we shift to that left leg. Right leg comes in and up. Stepping that right leg back with control. Take a pause here. Right hand comes down. Finding that twist again, maybe you're on a block. Thinking about somebody grabbing right underneath your armpit and pulling your right side long. Keep pressing back to that right heel. Find a twist. And then slowly letting that top arm come down and around. We'll shift forward here. So we shift and find that standing balance, that flying leg, warrior three. And then stepping that right foot down. Taking a shorter stance than you would for a lunge. Take the left outer hip and hug it back. Get long through the spine. And then maybe that right hand comes down to a block. Remember to press down into the heel and then pull back, turn on the back of the leg. You'll get a little bit more length and space in your hamstrings. Keep hugging that left outer hip back. Sometimes I like to stick my thumb right in the crease of the front of the thigh and just pull it back. And then at the same time, pull the right side long. Get longer, longer, longer. Slowly coming down and through. Take a pause and fold forward. Soften the knee, the front knee, bring the hands down and step it back to down dog. Reach the right leg back behind. Step the right foot to the outside of that right hand so the stance is wide again. And then maybe if you have something to pad that knee with, you do. Let the left hand come out to the side and crawl forward just a little. And then take that top arm, bring it around. Get long here, long, long, long. And then use the strength of that left hamstring, your left gluteal, your underside of your glutes and the back of your left leg to bend the knee. And then maybe you reach around and grab. Or use a strap. So my right hand is reaching towards my left foot. And then once you're there, maybe you kick back into the hand with like 5% of your effort. Just turn on the quadriceps. And when you feel like you've had enough of that, you can come around. If you just got in because you're using a prop, no problem. Stay there if you'd like. I'm going to press down into the front heel, lift up and bring my right foot across. So I'm going to come into a pigeon pose here. So the shin is not parallel, does not have to be parallel. But once you're here, you're going to karate chop down to the pinky side edge of the foot so that the pinky edge, imagine this is my foot, I'm gonna chop down into the ground. I'm gonna press down into my hands, lift up so my foot stays down, and wiggle back. And then once I'm here, I'm gonna press down into that shin, just like I did when I was in lunge and I pressed into the heel, same action here. I'm gonna take a moment and then fold. So kind of taking the pigeon variation that works for you, and if, quite honestly, if pigeon is not the variation that works for you, then by all means, you can do it on your back. You can just come onto your back in that figure 4 position, that's fine too. And because you already did this in a lunge, if you just are feeling like, gee, what would happen if I did this in pigeon and you want to grab onto that back foot, you do the same thing. You bend the knee with the strength of the back of the leg. And then maybe the right hand or the left, doesn't matter which one, reaches around and grabs. It's totally up to you. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And once you're ready to, hands can come underneath you. You can step it back to down dog. Reach the left leg back behind. And then step the left foot outside of the left hand. So again, if you need padding on that back knee, you can bring a blanket or a pillow or something underneath it. Right hand comes off the side of the mat. And we use the strength of the back leg, the back of the back leg, to pull the foot in. Left arm reaches up and around. Maybe use a strap here. And then kick the foot into the hand with like 5% effort just to turn on the quadriceps. You get a little bit more space when you do that. And if you've already decided this is enough, you can certainly come out of the pose and find your way to pigeon. Or maybe you take a few more breaths here. And then once you're ready, both arms come around, press down, lift up, bring the foot across. You'll notice your 2 sides of your body are different. That's fine. So again, I'm going to chop down to the pinky side edge of my foot so the ankle bone lifts up. Press into my hands, lift, wiggle back. So my front foot, my back foot, and my hands are the only thing that's down when wiggling. Knees up. Now press down here, turn on the outer hip, turn on the gluteal muscles, and then maybe take a fold. Or again, if that quad stretches in your, something you'd like to add in, you can. That eventually moves to a mermaid or a king pigeon, depending on how you access it. And then once you're ready to, you can slowly find your way out of this pose. If you'd like to come back to down dog, you can. Or you can just roll over onto that front hip, come into a seated position. If you'd like to use a strap here, I'm going to. And this is just because I have really tight outer hips in a tight side body, although I might not totally need it today after that practice, but we'll see. I just like to be prepared. So to use my strap, because I have a strap, I looped it, and I'm just gonna loop it around my foot. If you're using like a hand towel or a scarf or something, that's fine. You just loop it around the bottom of your foot, and you're gonna use it. It's actually gonna be a top hand that's gonna grab it. So my left leg is extended, my right knee is bent. I'm gonna bring my left hand across to my right knee. And then I'm gonna grow tall, just like we did when we were seated at the start of practice. So grow tall through the right side and spin a little bit towards the right as well. So the belly starts to spin towards the right, and then I'm gonna come over. Now see, I am not long, my arms are short, I'm not long here, so I'm gonna grab my strap, bring it up, put it in my hand, and then reset the pose for myself. And then grabbing onto that opposite knee and allowing that to be what helps to spin. And the reason I like to use the strap here is it creates so much space in my side waist as I pull on the strap. And then slowly coming back through center. You can release the strap. We're gonna rotate towards the long, I was gonna say the long edge of the mat, the long leg, the extended leg. Lengthen here and then take a fold forward. Just noticing how the different lines of the body are open in different ways. Releasing and slowly lifting back through center. And we'll switch over to the other side. So if you use the strap, if you didn't use a strap, but you'd like to on side number 2, that's cool. So bring the strap around my foot. Bring the opposite foot in. I'm gonna bring my right hand over to my left knee. And I'm gonna grow long here. So I'm gonna draw my left arm to the sky because it works better for me to get long. Spin the belly towards the left. And then I'm slowly gonna start to find my way towards my right. Again, I'm gonna grab onto the strap. I'm gonna find the place where I think I should be. It's always easier to slide out on the strap than it is to slide in. And then I'm gonna pull on the strap to get a little bit of traction through the left side body. And slowly releasing back up through center, turning towards the extended leg. Grow long here and take a fold. Again, just noticing the difference based on where you are in space, based on the line that you're trying to create space in. And if any place in the body feels stuck, like for instance, if the back of the leg, the hamstrings feel stuck right now, you can always press down into the heel, pull back and turn them on, it'll give you a little bit more space. You could also turn on the quadriceps, the muscles on the top of the leg. That will also give you a little bit more space in the back of the leg. 2 different styles of stretching, both of which recognize that the muscles like to be contracted. And slowly releasing back up through center. We'll find our way onto our backs. Zipping down onto our back, hugging the knees into our chest, maybe rocking a little from side to side. So I have a couple things that I normally do at the end of practice. I usually offer a happy baby. So the arms come inside the knees, over the top of the feet to the outside edge of the feet. Letting the feet open wide, the knees open wide, and you can rock a little from side to side. You can take an inversion here of your choice. You can add in a bridge or a little back bend. You can stay with happy baby, or if you'd like to come into a spine twist, you can do that as well. The spine twist that I'm going to cue today is a wide kneed spine twist. So we're going to open the feet to about mat width distance. And just so you know, if there's a different one that works better for you, do that. With the feet at mat width distance, we're going to let both knees drop over towards the left. Maybe just exploring here, noticing what happens if you use the strength in your right outer hip to pull the right outer hip down towards the mat a little bit more. What happens if you press into the right inner foot? What happens if you press into the left outer foot? Just taking the time to explore. And then once you're ready to, slowly finding your way back to center, letting both knees drop towards the right. And playing with those same things. What happens if I draw the left outer hip down? If I press into the left foot, press into the right foot. Maybe what happens if I reach my arm above my head? Or off at a diagonal above my head. My knees are to my right, so it would be my left arm at a diagonal over to the left. What happens then? And slowly finding your way back through center. You're going to come into a bound angle, so the soles of the feet come together, the knees dropping out. And the reason why I like to end with this is because we did a lot of twisting and folding, and the low back has a tendency to take the brunt of that kind of stuff, even though that's not its job. And so coming into a bound angle at the end of practice just resets the lumbar spine back into the lumbar curve. So you should have actually a little bit of a back bend in the low back, just kind of a little lifting away. It also helps to keep the low back healthy, to create some space in the inner leg line. So if you would like to stay here for your Shavasana, for your final rest of the practice, you can do so. Or if you'd like to extend into a Shavasana or bring your legs up onto something to take some pressure off of the low back, you can. In the studio, I would use a bolster, but at home, you could use a piece of furniture. Use a bolster if you have it to bring your legs up the wall. And then once you've settled in, coming back to your breath. Taking a moment and noticing how you feel right now. Remembering that you are strong both in body and in mind and in spirit. You can allow what you do in life to empower you to remember that. Now's a great time to tune into that idea of being empowered, being strong, being capable. And recognizing that you don't have to do it all. You can today, on this Mother's Day, and on any day, give yourself a break. Begin to draw some awareness back to your breath. Deepening your inhalation and your exhalation. Bringing your awareness back to your body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Allowing those small movements to graduate into larger movements. And slowly allowing your body to awaken. Coming back to the space that you're in. The connection of your body to the earth, the air and space around you. Eventually finding your way to a seated position, bringing the hands into the heart. Bringing the thumbs into the sternum, the space of the heart chakra. Being reminded that today and all days that you are loved, that you are important. And that you have the right and the ability to take care of yourself whenever you need it. Namaste.